Hello, beautiful people. You are welcome to another interesting edition of News Trend. And of course, you know I don't do this alone. I have my regular co-host and guest in the house. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Yes, and thank you for always obliging. So today we are going to be discussing something that is really, dear to my heart, and fortunately or surprisingly, it's also dear to the heart of a lot of Nigerians. Recently, we were shocked by a video, not even a video, a post by Biola Adebayo on her Instagram page where she wished her husband a happy birthday. But that was not even the surprise. The surprise was that she called him X, and that blew my mind and the mind of a lot of people. What do you mean X? And she went further to say that yes, she has been separated from her husband for the past 1 year. They separated in April, April 2024. And in the post, she prayed for him and all that, and she also enjoined people to pray for them, that marriage is not an easy thing and that they are co-parenting now, and she said something that, made a lot of people to start wondering the cause of the separation, because she mentioned that, it is better for her. Like she said, she apologized to the people who may have been disappointed by the news, because a lot of people, because we thought the marriage was a happy one, judging, of course, by pictures and videos that we see on social media. And she apologized to the people who may be disappointed. But she also said that it is better, for her to be alive and well to tell the story than, something else. So that made a lot of people, including myself, start imagining that, what could that be? And and it made us also go to dig deeper, and we found out that this is not even her first marriage. She's been married before. She got married in 2012 to a man named Ola, who was based in the UK, and at some point she had to relocate there. But the marriage also did not last 2 years, and that allegedly, was came to an end because of something to do with genotype. That is surprising to me, because I thought this is something that people should discuss before marriage, but we'll talk about that later. That crashed as well. And now this is crashing, and it's so very unfortunate. And now we are going to be talking about, the reasons why Nollywood marriages do not make it far, and a lot of other things. So, Sal, where do you start from? What do you say?
I actually will start from where you started. That I was also shocked that something like that had gone down. And because I actually thought I was, in terms of space, very distant from the Nollywood scene, but in terms of relationship and friendship, I thought I was close to Nollywood. Yes. So I get to hear a few things going on here and there. But this is quite shocking, if you ask me. And some weeks back, when Biola Adebayo came up with this podcast, where she mentioned Jumoke George having suffered an illness, broke, without a home and all the rest, and then was able to get in touch with her daughter in Mali. I was quite happy when she picked that up. And I reached out to the Nigeria Diaspora Commission to ask them, what are you doing? Are you in touch? And then we did some back and forth. I also sent her a message, and she said, okay, she's doing this, but there are other, somebody who had the interest of others at heart. I will say I fell in love with her. Not the romantic type. I really, really fell in love with what she did, because that for me was the height of it. She's done a couple of other podcasts, like the lady that lied that she took sniper and died. That also was a good one for me, because it helped in telling a story that most of us don't know exists. I'm not saying I didn't know. I know those things exist. But most Nigerians don't know they exist within our own society. Because when some stories come out and they say them, it's like, oh, this is far-fetched. This can't happen in our own immediate environment and all the rest. So I love that also. But this one on the lady from Mali, I gave it to her.
Yes,
at that point.
Yes.
And then eventually the lady came back. That for me, even if she doesn't do anything again the rest of her life, that should be earning her some money. Yeah.
Really?
In terms of viewership and all the rest. But you know, we leave things quickly in this country. And she should, on the basis of that, get some ambassadorial endorsements.
Yes, true.
You know, no, and that endorsement should not just be in terms of giving her the title. It should also come with something monetary so that she can do more of those things. And really, I like her person. Give it to her.
Yes.
She's calm.
She's calm.
Yes, everybody will get angry, especially when you're on set. There is no way you'll be on set that you won't get angry. Because somebody must do something in a way that will require you to take 7, take 8, and then you begin to say, we have been up. So I have not seen her angry. Not in public. But I'm saying the physical look shows somebody who is calm. And the rest. But
and there's also been no scandal.
No scandal. Scandal free. That much I like about her. And I'm still going to keep liking her. Because marriage doesn't define you.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's just that people get agitated each time the marriage of a Nollywood artist breaks down. Be it male or female. Because it's beginning to look like those in that industry cannot maintain marriages. Because when you look at it, only a few that we know. It's not as if there aren't so many who are married, but the ones that are in our eyes, are in our hearts, are in our face all of the time. And we hear this news, we are sad. So when we're at a stage where we hear Femi Adebayo's marriage crashed, we've had in the past somebody like Segun Arinze, you know, these are people that we love. We want to see things working for them. So that's the case with Biola Adebayo. It's not as if daily outside of Nollywood we don't see those things happening. We've even seen people killing themselves. Just yesterday, the Domestic and Violence Agency in Lagos said 5 men in 2024 killed their wives in this state.
Wow.
That's a huge figure if you ask me. Because you can now imagine the number of those who injured them, who stabbed them, and who did this.
That were not even reported.
And those that were not reported. Because a lot of times also, families want to do those things hush. Don't let people see our nyash, like they will say in the public. Don't let's wash our dirty things. So when you get those figures, and then someone like Biola Adebayo now comes to say to you in a note that it is better I'm alive.
Exactly. Very cryptic. Very
You know,
what does that mean?
Exactly. It opens you up to, okay, there could have been some sort of violence. But even for me, the worst form of violence is not the physical one. It's the emotional one. Where people talk to you anyhow, abuse you, send messages to your family through you. You know, those kind of emotional abuse. Abuses. They can kill faster than even the physical ones. So whichever way it goes, I still give kudos to her that for 1 year, and it's within those 1 year that these two huge successes in terms of our podcast that I mentioned.
Yes.
It's in those 1 year. It's in this 1 year we are talking about. So meaning that she has settled down, overcome the trauma, and
moved on.
I give kudos to her.
Yes, a lot of kudos, especially since it didn't even leak. Nobody, we didn't hear anything.
No
she
drama.
Came and said it herself. Nobody said, have you heard? Oh, this, that. It's really, it speaks well of her. Just who she is, what you would expect. That okay, she's not everywhere.
Yeah, and in between, we've not had that. We saw her with.
Yes,
we saw her with. Meaning that, yes, I'm not married, but she's been calm. Because you can imagine a number of scandals that have broken in the last 1 year in Nollywood. So, I give it to her. In fact, the news that she was once married and all the rest, also, I didn't know that about her because I must confess, before now, I didn't do any kind of search on her. But even that first one, we must give kudos to her. A lot of people, couples now, they are bringing in sickle cell children into the world, even in this age that we are.
But that is a problem for me because
even in this age,
at the point of courtship, you ought to have known. Is it that you are intentionally going into the marriage, despite knowing that okay, the genotype it can't work, or SS or SS, AS, it can't work? You just go into it blindly or intentionally that okay, because I've heard of people who say, yes, God can do it, God will do it, God will change,
yes, the God of miracle.
Exactly. And then bring the children into the world, and then they have to go through pains, and even you yourself, you will not know, you will not enjoy your life because you are running from hospital to hospital.
Let me shock you with one story I had, and this is true. A man and a woman, or a lady and a guy wanted to get married. At the point of counseling in church, they asked them, what's your genotype? What are you bringing to the table? And the lady says, I'm AS. And brought out the test results physically. The guy says, I'm AA. Where is the paper where? He said, no, you can say I'm a strong man. I don't fall.
Can you imagine?
I don't do this. I don't do that. I am not that I must be. I am.
I have to be. I
am. Not I have to be. I am.
Can you judge it like that?
And then they now insisted. Go to the hospital. He brought back AS. He said, no, this cannot be. He went to about 4 places. And he came back the same. That lady did not insist. Thank God the church did. That was how they said, you guys can't marry. I've also heard of one also. Of recent. The lady knew. The guy knew. But the guy is insisting that they love themselves and love can see them through.
Except they decide that they won't have children.
And the lady says, love is not enough.
Not enough.
Let's move on.
When it gets to that point, it's not enough.
Just like what you said, they have been in this for about 6-7 years. Before they now...
And it never came up.
So it's, you see, a lot of times, the first thing people want to do is, they want to fall in love. Whereas these days, you need to stand in love.
You need to be the yourself. Stand
and open your eyes. Because it's not just even about the ASAA thing now. Some ladies during courtship, they beat them.
Yeah.
They beat them and they still keep believing that when we get married, it will stop it.
You have not married someone is beating you. It's not when you become his property.
They still do it. That's to tell you, I will keep praying for him. I will keep praying for him.
And what does that tell us? That speaks of desperation as far as I'm concerned. Because if you are not
it's not
desperate
even
to get
desperation.
married,
It's stupidity.
Hey.
Let's
Why?
even leave desperation is too far from it's stupidity. Somebody you have not married is beating you. Is telling you what you are supposed to do part-time.
Exactly.
Then that is no marriage. Because what it means is when you get into it, you're not going to have a voice.
You will not. A life
You're not going to have a voice. So, and just like I told some people who came to my office before we started this, a lot of the things that we are supposed to do for ourselves, we have abdicated those responsibilities to God.
True
we
that.
say to God,
yes,
come on, God, when I get home, please let there be power.
Let there be
power. Who sent you on that?
Can you imagine?
We praying that kind of prayer.
Even God would like.
That is why those who brought the religion to us, while they are reducing the physical spaces where they meet for service and turning them into industries, putting AI in place to enhance even their worship, we are increasing the spaces we have for religion.
I saw a video recently. Sorry to cut you. I saw a video recently over the weekend. You know, this man is abroad. He was now making, and it was on a Sunday. He said, see, this is Sunday morning. And he was abroad and showing, see the church. The church was empty. Nobody, big church. Oh, I think it was in the UK. Big church. Nobody was in the church. The church was empty. And he was saying, oh, but my fellow people in Nigeria, everywhere is full.
It will be filled.
Sunday morning.
But don't be shocked that in their own clime, that church will be empty, but online, you can have 1 million, 2 million people because things have moved. And we are still staying in the same space. And that's why it's easy for people to make all sorts of outlandish allegations against our leaders, that all the spaces that they are acquiring, they are doing so for personal aggrandizement. Because it's easy to do that. Because while those who brought the religion to us are reducing where they worship, and they are going more online using technology. Thank God for
they are improving in other areas.
In other areas. Thank God for COVID-19. We have now all seen that it's possible to do things online.
Oh yeah, a lot of.
Thank God for it. But basically, returning to where we are coming from is the fact that religion must not becloud us when we are getting married. My pastor said,
or my pastor said,
or my imam said, brother or stars, so and so is good for me. Does not mean it's good for you. You must do your own due diligence. I've said it, a couple of things that some parents may need to check when their children want to get married. You don't need to get involved in their personal lives at present. Just check. There must be somebody that this lady or guy went to school with who is truthful, who will be able to tell you, when we were in school, he was in the cult. Or when we were in school, she beat up, organized for us to beat up 10 ladies. Once you begin to see those, what people in relationships call red flags, you start running. Because you are better off being single than getting yourself into all of this.
You know, some people have this savior mentality, like, oh, you won't do that again. I will make him change. I will change him. I will change her. You know. And
if the report comes that after leaving school for 5-7 years, he has not engaged in a brawl in the open, you can begin to say, okay, this one has changed.
But what if the opportunity did not arise? So
indeed,
you know, sometimes something can happen and there will be no opportunity until like 10 years after.
I agree with you.
This is in the body.
But if like I've said, you don't allow religion to becloud you. You go out with this person in a sensible manner. You get to know the person. Enter a bus and see how he behaves to the conductor or the driver and co-passengers. Or let him drive and see how he drives on the road. Or he or she. The number of times he will do waka. The number of times the one who do in Lagos, you know. Just look at it and then you begin to get an idea of.
Sometimes you can't help those things though. Sometimes you can't help the
yes, you can't help, but you will know the ones that are serious. Like I say to people, I abuse people. But you will know that when the abuse is we are catching cruise.
Yeah.
You will know it from the people
It's
who
not
get
the one that
angry
you will get down from your car
and go and be
your
fighting.
shirt after fighting. Yeah.
Some people will say to me, whenever there is problem, don't call Dotun because he will come and settle everybody and you won't be able to fight again. But I prefer that.
Yes. Sir.
And I also tell people, from being a gentleman, seemingly, I've been, because I issue queries in the office, no doubt. I'm not gentle when it comes to that. When it comes to work, like I said, people who go into studios, I know what they do. Who go to locations, I know the kind of madness that can be there. But I've benefited so much from settling quarrels that could have become something else than encouraging it. Because at the end of the day, everybody is happy. You don't have... So we should try with our Nollywood people also for them to understand that when you are in the same workspace with your spouse, you must have a very thick skin. And one thing I say to people is this. When you see some things, it's better for you to ponder over it well and take it as your reality. Because a lot of people don't see things. Far more things happen behind them than they know. That is where you now have, after about, when you are like 60 or 70, you now discover that your 3 or 4 children are not your own. Because you didn't even allow things to cool. You didn't allow your spouse to be himself or herself. These are the things that bring all of these things.
Are you sure? How can you guard against that?
No. Okay, it's not as if you totally be able to. But for instance now, if you know your wife enough, you shouldn't, or even your husband, you shouldn't stop them from doing what they naturally will want to do based on your own fears. Because whether you approve of it or not, if you don't manage your relationship well, you are going to lose them. Like they always say, when you catch a bird, let it fly. If it was meant to be yours, it will come back.
But you know, sometimes it's not always that way.
Yes, I agree. But that saying, till now, holds true. Because if you hold on to what is not supposed to be yours, you are going to have a lot of issues to deal with.
Sure.
And that is the kind of things that those who are in this space, they must watch out for. Go and read some of the things that Fowl said about why he can't marry in that setting. Go and read about Mr. Macaroni. You understand? Go and read and pay attention to them, and you'll understand that we can have a better space in Nollywood than we're having now in terms of relationship and marriages.
Okay, so what do you think this what do you think this speaks or this means for her moving forward?
I don't see any major impact on her other than the fact that she needs to keep doing what she's doing now. Like I said, those 2 programs that I watched, I saw the humanity in her. I saw the willingness of somebody who wants to help other people get better. That's what I don't see people in terms of you can make me laugh. But when you do something that evokes emotion, I like it. She has done something that we as journalists use our writing skill to do in terms of those things she has done. You know, we can write and say this person is there, this person is there, and all the rest. But she has done it with her own podcast. And that for me is a major one. Let her get involved more in her project now. Over time, she'll find true love. Because I believe it's somewhere. But not necessarily getting married. Because there is this idea that we all have erroneously in this part of the world, that if you don't get married, you are incomplete.
Yeah,
If you don't get, in fact, some are beginning to tie marriage to going to heaven.
Honestly.
Some are beginning to make it look like that. As if
you can't find happiness.
You can't find
marriage.
happiness without being married.
True.
No, that's not true. It's a fallacy. You can find happiness in what you do. I'm not saying marriage is not good. It is, really. If you and your spouse will get to the level where, yes, you quarrel. I have a senior friend, a top politician, who said, if me and my wife don't disagree like 5 times in a day, there's trouble.
5 times in a day?
Yes, at least 5 times in a day when they are in the same space. They must disagree on issues. That's what makes you human. You have your own opinion. Exactly. The moment I can't voice my opinion, I'm saying if I voice my opinion, I can slap me. Then that is no longer a relationship. It's a one-way traffic. And that doesn't bring happiness. Sometimes you see people who are married. They talk to people who are outside more than their spouse. They confide more in them. That's not marriage. So you are going to get to a point, I'm talking of Biola now, where she's going to find happiness in doing what she's doing now, and she will find somebody who will be able to support her emotionally with it. You will see, it's a matter of time. She's doing a good job. And I'm telling you that. She's doing a good job. I love what she's doing. Yes. And I wish her well.
Yes, we wish her well. We wish her well.
Very well.
You know, and we hope that she finds the happiness that she's looking for. And that she's making other people happy, because she's really making people happy.
Look at the way Jumoke George rolled on the floor when her daughter came back. Aren't you happy? I was. Seriously, I was very happy.
So, the level of happiness that she's giving to other people, we hope that she gets that herself. And of course, we'll be here to give you updates when something comes up, when she finds happiness, or as she continues in her endeavors, because she's doing a lot of good things, and we wish her greater heights, because what she's doing is commendable.
Very, very.
Very commendable.
I agree with you.
So don't forget to like this video and also share this video. And follow us on all our social media handles. In our bio, if you check our bio, you see our social media handles. Follow us and continue to watch. We'll bring you more gist later. See you next time.
See you. Bye.